Hello, 7th graders. We're going to go through a quick review of rounding using significant figures. So what we're going to do is round each number to the specified amount of significant figures. Now remember, when we round to sig figs, we always need to know exactly how many significant figures we're rounding to, and we need to look at the next value. So for example, in this problem, if we want to round to 2 significant figures, we have to identify the third significant figure, which in this problem is going to be the 1. In this answer, I should say. So if this is our answer, we find that the 1 is the third significant figure. So that tells us whether or not we need to round up or keep that 4 as a 4. Now, since the 1 is smaller than 5, we'll keep it the same. So our rounded answer is 64,000. Okay, and the next one here, we want to round to 3 significant figures, so we have to identify the fourth one, which in this answer would be the 8. And now since that's 5 or bigger, that tells us we need to round that third significant figure up, so we need to make this 607,000. Okay, so this next one, we want to round to 1 significant figure. So we identify our second significant figure is a 6, and that's 5 or larger, so we need to round up. So since our first significant figure is a 9, that means we need to round this up to 10,000. So our answer would be 10,000 here to 1 significant figure. Okay, and we have this value, we want to round to 3 significant figures, so we identify the fourth one as a 7. Okay, so since that's 5 or larger, that means we need to round up. Now, when we round a 9 up, it needs to become a 10, which means that 1 needs to become a 2. So to 3 significant figures, this is 8,200.
Okay. We can also round to a certain number of significant figures when there's a decimal there. It's not going to affect where we go through and look for our digits. So our third significant figure in this one is this 4 here, which means we're kind of thinking about the first 8 and 4 are our first 2 significant figures. The third significant figure tells us what to do with our rounding. So we have 8 and 4/10, 8.4. And rather than filling in the gaps with the other place values with zeros like we had to do in our whole number, we're just going to not write them because otherwise they would count as our significant figures. On the second one here, our third significant figure is the 5. The 6 then is telling us what to do, and we need to round that one up, 736. Here we have 1 significant figure, that's the 8. The second one then is telling us what to do. Again, it's telling us to go up to 9. And here to 3 significant figures, the fourth one will tell us what to do. The 6 is telling us that we want to round this 9 up, but again, when this one's a 9, it rounds up to 10, we have to carry over. So here we're going to have 62.0. Now, Ms. Conley, why do we have to put the 0.0 on this problem?
Oh, because it says we have to round it to 3 significant figures. So if you just write 62, then that's only 2 significant figures. So we put the 0.0 to show that it actually has been rounded to 3 significant figures. Okay, now these are the tricky ones when we have these really, really small numbers, or if we have lots of zeros in a decimal. So we have to remember that the leading zeros are not significant. So our first significant figure in this answer or problem is the 2. Those zeros in front of it are not significant. So that means our second significant figure is the 4, and then the third one is the 3, which is what we need to look at because we're trying to round this to 2 significant figures. So since that 3 is smaller than 5, it means we need to leave all of these leading zeros, and it becomes 0.00024. All right, leading zeros again, so those are not significant until we get to the 1. So that's our first, second, and then the 3 is the third significant figure, which makes the 9 the fourth one. Okay, so that's a 9.
Oh dear.
Sorry. So that 9 tells us we need to round that 3 up to a 4. So we have all of those non-significant zeros, and then 0.124 are our three significant figures. Okay, now this one is different because there's a 1 in front of those zeros. So since those zeros are between significant figures, they are also significant. So we have to find the fourth significant figure, which would be the 3.
That would be the fifth significant figure.
The 0. The 0 is the fourth significant figure. The 3 is the fifth one, so that's the one we actually need to look at. And since it's smaller than 5, that means we keep all of those zeros the same.
And again, we don't want to just make this 1 where we think about how these zeros don't change the value, but because it's asking us to leave in a specific number of significant figures, the ones that are after the decimal point and after a significant figure do count as significant.
All right.